good. This is the 4-Minute Bible Study. Now, if you were with us last time, we started talking about the Synoptic Gospels. That's Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Now, each of these Gospels paints a specific picture of the person and the work of Jesus Christ. We started with Matthew last time, basically saying it was written to a Jewish audience, and it was presenting Jesus Christ as the Messiah, the promised Messiah from the Old Testament. This gives us some context for each book, and that's what we want to do, is go through each of these and kind of, show who this book was written to, why was it written, and what picture of Jesus does it paint. Now, when we look at the book of Mark specifically, we look at the fact that Mark was written mostly to a Roman audience. And the reason we know that is because he doesn't quote the Old Testament quite as much as the Jewish gospel Matthew does. It's important to Matthew that he quotes the Old Testament to prove his point. For Mark, on the other hand, he doesn't think that that's as vital. I'm not saying there's not any Old Testament quotes in there. They're there, but they're just not as numerous. In addition to that, you'll see that Mark also goes out of his way to explain a lot of the Jewish customs and things like that to give his audience a better understanding of what's going on. Now, as we look at the book of Mark, one of the things you'll notice right off the bat is the book of Mark is the shortest gospel. And one of the reasons that is it paints Jesus as the servant of Yahweh, or the servant of Jehovah, the servant of God. And just as a side note, this is one of the reasons that a lot of critical scholars say that Mark doesn't have as high a Christology as the other Gospels, especially the Gospel of John, because it doesn't outright say that Jesus is God. This is something, according to critical scholars, that developed many years later, probably in the 2nd century. And so Mark is probably more true to who Jesus really is, but that's not necessarily the case. Mark actually goes out of his way to paint a picture of Jesus that is very unique from the rest of humanity. The first line includes the fact that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. That's the very first verse in the book of Mark. In addition to that, Jesus claims to be able to do things in the book of Mark that only God is able to do. Cast out demons, forgive sins, things like that. So moving on, one of the key verses here in Mark chapter 10, and I'll read all 3 verses here, or maybe 4 of them. Jesus calls them, the disciples, to himself, and he says to them, "You know that those who are considered rulers over the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. Yet it shall not be so among you. But whoever desires to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever desires to be first shall be slave of all. For even the Son of Man," again, this is a term in the Old Testament that clearly identifies Jesus as deity, but he used it to identify himself with humanity. "The Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many." So this is, I think, a key verse because it does present Jesus as the servant of Yahweh, as the one who has come to serve humanity and better humanity's condition. Now, one of the other things we notice about this book is that this book is really, really fast-paced. The word immediately is used a lot. Also, there are more miracles performed in this gospel than the other gospels. And so we see that Jesus is active. And what that says for Christians is it says that the Christian faith should be an active faith. This is not something done in secret. This is not something that is just a confession of a set of beliefs, but the Christian faith is transformative. And the Christian faith should be something that makes an impact on the world around us. And we, as Jesus Christ, should seek to serve humanity in just the same way. I hope this helps. We're going to be looking at the book of Luke next time. I look forward to seeing you. God bless.